Hello everybody, I am Anu from TAMS Business Solution Limited. Due to some technical issues, we have got delayed by some minutes. We apologize for the same. Today the topic of discussion is making an Android application location aware. So, what are location-based services? Location-based services provide users of mobile devices personalized services tailored to their current location. They open a new market for the developers, cellular network operators, and service providers to develop and deploy value-added services like advertisement and other things to their users. So, what are the benefits of integrating the LBS in our app? Location-based services answers three questions. Where am I? What's around me? How do I get there? They determine the location of the user by using one of the several technologies for determining position. Then use the location and other information to provide personalized application and services. As an example, consider a wireless 911 emergency service that determines the caller's location automatically. Such a service would be extremely useful, especially to users who are far from home and don't know the local landmarks. Traffic advisories, navigation, help including maps and directions, and roadside assistance are natural location-based services. Other services can combine present location with the information about the personal preferences to help users to find food, to find lodging, and entertainment to fit their tastes and pocketbooks. Other services can be explained in this manner, like you are having a location-based service-enabled application, and you are there on some unknown place that you don't know, that you don't have much information about. Then this kind of application can help you to find the food, to find the restaurants, to find the lodging. So that will be very beneficial in this case. Now, next question was how to integrate LBS in Android app and sample code for integrating LBS in Android. That I'll show you in PPT file presentation, and then I'll show you this in the code. Next was how LBS can enhance popularity of your application. See, if you're developing an application which will give the information to the user about the properties in the selected city and in the selected locality, like New Delhi Defense Colony. But if I am unknown to New Delhi, or if I went to some other city which is unknown to me, then even though if I want to know about the price trends or the properties available in that locality or in that area, then if your application is having that feature, then you can get it very easily. So location-based service or LBS allows software to obtain the phone's current location. This includes location obtained from global positioning system or location from network provider. Now moving to next point. Location-based services can be used in so many different scenarios. Such example includes, these are various examples. These are the various few example basically, like there are many more opportunities or many more possibilities for the developers to integrate LBS in their apps. Some of the example includes search for nearby properties, restaurants, petrol pump, ATMs, etc. As I explained earlier, you can search nearby properties, restaurants, and petrol pump. Similarly, someone can search for nearby companies and check their job section. For example, you are living in Malvi Nagar and Malvi Nagar, New Delhi. Then you would be preferring for the locations for the companies which are basically near to your home. Then you can do this by integrating the LBS in your application, which shows you the company's result. Next example is social networking, public mobile social networking. Nowadays, Foursquare and Facebook check-ins are very popular. Facebook has integrated this feature of LBS around 1.5 years ago. After that, their popularity increases up to much extent. What this feature says, it means if you are near to some place, like if you are near to India Gate, New Delhi, then you can check in or tag that location from your application. And then you can share that information with your friends. Similarly, the Foursquare application also does the thing. Next is Friend Finder. Location-based services can help you by this way, like your friend is also using the same application, you are also using the same application. Both are having the location-based services feature. Then you can easily check that where your friend is, if your friend is allowing you to check his location. What basically happens in this scenario, that your application which you are using and your friend's application, both are using the same application. Both applications are sending the latitude and longitude of the user to the server, and the sync thing is happening on the server, and then from the server each one is getting others' location. Next is location-based event, location-based advertisement. Location-based advertisement is very popular thing nowadays. Like you are moving somewhere to, like for example, you are moving to Atta Market, which is in Noida there. Then suddenly you start getting ads from the shop owners of the Atta Market, of that localities. That means that would be very useful to you if you are somewhere in the market and you are searching for some shops, some particular shops, and if your application is having that kind of filter to filter some particular kind of shops and their advertisement, then that would be very useful to you to find the correct shop and the way or the route how to reach to that shop, because from advertisement you can also send the latitude and longitude, which is the main thing, to reach to that shop. If you are having the location or lat long of this shop, then your application can show you the route or design the route from your location to the shop location. Then you would not have to ask to anybody for that location. Next is location based event. I can tell you one scenario, one example of location based advertisement. Like McDonald's has started this location based advertisement in US. After that, their popularity increased in much extent. So that's very useful, and nowadays many companies are implementing this thing in their applications, which is having that advertisement kind of feature. Location based event is similar kind of thing like location based advertisement. You are sending the advertisement of event which are nearby to you. Next is tourism guide with text pop-up in different location. That can show you tourism guide like what are the important places and how to reach to those places. That is useful for the tourist. Like they can see where are the forts, where are the lakes in that particular city, and then that application can make the route or design the route from that location to the fort location or any other things. Similarly, they can check the route from their location to the hotel's location where they are lodging. Next example is traffic management. There are many traffic-based services provided by the Google. What happens, I can show you an example. If you are there, got stuck in the traffic, then you can design such kind of application where it can detect the traffic based on your location, and then it can automatically send SMS to your buddies or to your father or anybody as designed in the application. So by using the traffic based info or traffic based APIs provided by the Google, you can integrate location based services in your app. Next is like car parking guide and baby tracker. You park your car somewhere and then you forget that where you parked your car. What can be done in this case, at the time of parking, you can check in that location into your application. Then you move away from that location, like you went for watching a movie or you went for shopping and all. Then there, what can happen that while returning, if you forget where I parked my car, then your application can make the route where you have done check-in or where your car has been parked to your current location. So in this way, it would be very helpful for you to check or to how to reach to the car. Similar thing you can do with baby tracker as you have done in the friend finder. Like if your baby or your kid having a mobile, that Android mobile, which is having that location based service application, by this you can check or you can monitor every time where your baby is or where your kid is currently. So then after that you would not need to worry about your kid. You can check his location. If he is moving away from the known location, then you can make a call or SMS, anything depends upon you. Next is attendance system. Attendance system can be implemented in the manner like when employee is entering within the premises of the company, then that premises or that point's location matches with the employee's location. That means employee is currently in. It can be achieved in this manner. Your company can be having a centralized application which checks the other applications or your employee's location, then you can achieve this. It means your employee's current latitude and longitude matches with the company's any point locations latitude and longitude, then that means employee is currently in from at that time. I hope all examples are clear. This time you can ask your questions after this presentation. See, this is an example scenario. In the first one, we are checking that the car. In the car, we can develop an application for a car which can check the current speed and can send the current speed of the car automatically to the server. In the second example, we can see what we are doing here for finding the nearest ATM, restaurant, hotel, etc. from a mobile phone. Next one is this Salesforce automation. The Salesforce automation examples can be like in the parcel or in the courier-based applications. Like if somebody has delivered a courier at that location, then after taking his snapshot or picture, that employee can also tag in or check in that location into his device. So this is the way how location finding equipments works. Location finding equipments call a location-based service. That location-based service calls a location provider. That location provider can be either GPS-based provider or network-based provider. Then it returns the data to the location-based service here, and then location-based service again send this thing to the location content provider using the location-based application. Now, up to this point, you are having all the information of the user's current location. Then by making an HTTP call, your application is calling the location content provider. Location content provider's example, any server, like your server where you had all the database. You have to develop the queries for sending and receiving the content like we do in other apps. Then after that you are getting the information in your location-based application. Now moving to the next point. Location-based services API package. Location-based API includes two packages. One is android.location and second is com.google.android.maps. That provides an initial look at the support in the Android platform for building location-based services. Now moving to the classes and interfaces of Android.location packages. Android.location has one interface. It is having three interfaces basically, but we are going to use only one. We will discuss only those classes and interfaces which we are going to use in our example app and which we have used in our live Magic Bricks mobile Android project. We are going to discuss only those classes and interfaces. So now moving to these things. What is location manager? When building locations aware application on the Android platform, there are several key classes that we will use very often. A location provider provides location data using several metrics, and its data is accessed through a location manager. So this is called a location manager. Location manager, along with returning the available providers, also allow you to attach a location listener to be updated when the device location changes. And or directly fire an intent based on the proximity to a specified latitude and longitude. The last known location is also available directly from the manager. That will show you in the example also. Besides this, location manager also do the three things as mentioned there. Query for the list of all location providers known to the location manager for its last known location. So what are all location providers? There are basically two kinds of location provider: network based provider and satellite based provider. Every time we prefer to use network based provider rather than using GPS based provider. Then first we check the location from the network based provider. Then we go to the GPS based provider. Both have some merits and demerits that we'll discuss. Next is register, unregister for periodic updates of current location from a location provider. This is the next thing that location manager provides. Register, unregister for periodic update of current location from a location provider, either by criteria or name. That criteria that we will be discussing. Next thing that location manager provides to you: register, unregister for a given intent to be fired if the device comes within a given proximity specified by radius in meter of a given lat long. Now moving next. Now what are the benefits of using one or more location providers? Location providers. Location provider is an abstract class that helps define the capabilities of a given provider implementation. Different provider implementation, which are simply responsible for returning the location information, may be available on different devices and in different circumstances. So what are the different providers and why are the different providers necessary? Well, though the really context has two questions, meaning the answer is it depends. What provider implementation are available depend on the hardware capability of the device. Does it have a GPS receiver, or for example? It also depends on the situation. Even if the device is having a GPS receiver, can it currently receive the data from the satellites? Or is the user somewhere that's not possible, an elevator or a tunnel, etc.? That we will be going to see in our example also. Sometimes it happens that you are trying to get the location data from the network, and then if you are not getting the data from the network, you are not getting the locations data like latitude and longitude from network provider. Then you are trying to get the locations data from GPS provider. Still, if you are not getting the data, that means there are less number of satellites available, or you would need to move to some outer place where you can get the better satellite signals. At runtime, you will need to query for the list of providers available and then use the most suitable one. Or once it can often be advantageous to fall back to the less accurate provider if your first choice is not available or enabled. The most common provider and the only one available in the emulator, not in the device, only available in the emulator is location manager.gps provider, which uses the GPS receiver. So what's the difference between what the merits and demerits of the network-based location provider and GPS-based location provider? See, sometimes you have seen the problem of battery draining in your Android mobile phone. It happens because if you are using the GPS-based location provider and you are not keeping it off or removing the location update after you finish your application, then it would be continuously calling for the location updates. Then it makes your battery drain. So anytime you request for a location using the GPS provider, then you have to remove request update also once you close your application. Now, moving to the next point. Location class. Location class represents a geographical location sensed at a particular time. A location consists of latitude and longitude, a UTC timestamp, and optionally information on altitude, speed, and bearing. We are going to see or use that location class in our code. We get the instance of the location class from the location manager by calling the location manager dot get last known location, and within that providing the criteria provider location manager dot get last known location parameter as a provider. returns you the location. That location you are going to use to get the latitude and longitude. Our motto would be there in this webinar, how to get the latitude and longitude, and then how to use that latitude and longitude in our application. Now, moving to the code. This is our example app, which is extending an activity. In this activity, we have defined first variables as current latitude and longitude intervals, and then we have overridden the method of an activity on create method. Then we call the set content view here. Set content r.layout.main. Main file is where we are going to show the latitude and longitude. And then we have called that get location method with a parameter of the context. We have passed this here. Now going here, get location. Then what the get location class is doing, that it is getting that latitude and longitude from the server, and then it's setting that lat long to your text views. Text views are defined here in layout main.xml. This is lat value, LNG value, and defined in a main.xml. Current lat, current long. Now for moving to this, we would need to check what are the permissions that our application need to show. These are the permissions: access core locations, access network state, internet file locations, access location, and access GPS, assisted GPS. Now going to this, we have called the location listener first here, initialized it here, and then overridden the method of the location listener interface. On location changed. This also provides you an instance of the location class. There we have shown we have got the value of current lat and current LNG from the location.getLat and getLongitude methods. Now we have got a location listener. Then we are going to use this location listener in our location manager. For that, we need to call or initialize the location manager first. We have initialized location manager by calling the system service. Oh yeah. By calling the system services. By calling the system services. Then we have initialized the provider as a null, and then we have checked that which kind of provider is available currently. LOC manager dot is provider enabled, location manager dot network provider, that as we had discussed earlier, that we called network provider first. If the network provider is not available, then we have moved to GPS provider. Location manager dot is provider enabled, location manager dot GPS provider, then provider equals to location manager dot GPS provider. Here in this and in this, we are checking that which provider is currently enabled. Here we have marked a condition that if GPS provider is not enabled, in your device, then show the GPS disabled alert to the user so that user can switch on its GPS. Now what's happening in this method? So GPS disabled alert to user. Here we have created an alert dialog and we set a message here. GPS is disabled in your device. Would you like to enable it? Then if users clicks on OK or on the go settings page to enable GPS, we have called an settings intent. Intent name is call GPS setting intent, new intent, android.provider.settings.action location source settings. And then we have started that intent. What is happening here? I can show you on device screenshots. If user clicks on OK, it will show you the settings activity, and then you can switch on the GPS, and you can get the updates. Next, now you have got the provider after this. Next, you would need to use that provider and that location listener for requesting for the location update. This is the provider. This is the time interval. We have passed here as 1000 L. L is long as time interval. This is distance, the minimum distance. 500.0 F is float, and the location listener. After this, we have got that location by calling the location manager.get last known location parameter as a provider. From this, we have got the locations, get latitude and get longitude. After getting the latitude and longitude, we have set that data into the text view. Set text, current lat, get string, and current long. In else case, we have shown a text in a toast that GPS is not currently available. So this is the thing. We can also go into this, into geocoder class after getting the latitude and longitude. Geocoder class, I can tell you that how geocoder class can be helpful to you in getting the latitude and longitude. Now we have learned how to get the latitude and longitude based on your current location. That geocoder class will help you in finding the latitude and longitude of the non-location. Like you are sitting here in Defense Colony in New Delhi, and you want to see the latitude and longitude of Marine Drive, Mumbai. Then in this way, geocoder class can help you for getting the things. You would need to pass an address there, and that address would be passed here as an address input, and from this it will result you in list. Then from the results you can get the latitude and longitude. Now, how that application is behaving, let's see on the screen. I'm running it on device. I'll show you the screenshots. So these are the current lat and long that the application has got. I hope it's clear to everybody. Now, how we have used these things, that lat and long, within our application, within our project Magic Tricks that number one real estate property site. See, I can show you first the screenshots. These screenshots are from the smallest possible device of Android phone. So this application, this is the dashboard screen. From the dashboard screen, we are having an option of nearby properties. Once user clicks on the nearby properties, we show the search nearby pop-up. In this, user fill the details that whether he want to buy or he want to rent. He want the properties for rent purpose or for buy purpose, and then select the property type, that all residential or multi-story apartment or the commercial shop or any other things. And then after that, the user presses OK. Once user presses the OK, we check for the current location. Then we combine that location in our query and then send it to the server. Server processes the query, and based on the location and the other criteria, like user wants the property for buy or rent, or other parameter like user want all residential or multi-story or what kind of property type, then the result screen comes here after loading. You can see here all residential properties for rent nearby to this area. We have also given an option here to setting the radius. User can set its radius that he wants to see the property within 3 km or 5 or 10 km, this way. Also the number of results. So how we have done the things here in this project. So we are there on the dashboard screen. We clicked on the nearby image icon, which we have defined as the image view. After this, it reads the state of the radio buttons and the spinners, its values. And once the OK button is pressed, here, we are setting some values in our bean, and then we are calling the perform nearby search activity application that will perform the query and it will return the results. So we have passed here the lat and long and the radius. Now the method is here. As we have implemented in the example app, get location would be getting the lat and long, and then it is checking that which provider is currently available, network provider based or GPS based provider, and then checking the things, and then it's finally setting the latitude and longitude onto the constants class, and then these lat and long we are processing in the query. I hope it's all fine to all of you. I would like to have your questions, please. It's all from my side now. Thank you very much for attending the webinar. Okay. So Dhruv Thaker, your question is, which is the best tool for Android programming? Whether to use Adobe application or other? I would suggest you to use the Eclipse and Android SDK for Android programming. Alternatively, we can use the Adobe Air also, but this is not that much successful or that much popular as Eclipse and Android SDK is there. So now, yes. Next question is from the Rajendra Vyas. What are the frameworks available for Android applications? Rajendra, can you please elaborate your what do you mean by framework for Android programming? Basically, we use JDK 6 and Eclipse and Android SDK for Android programming. Next question is from Priyanka Pruthi. Please elaborate or explain location-based event. Priyanka, location-based events mean like any event which is occurring on some place. Okay, if that event organizer, excuse me, 1 second. If that organizer want to spread or advertise its event on mobile platform or on other or any other way, that could be a location-based event. Like there is an event on India Gate, for example, and the organizer wants to advertise about that event to anyone who is using that application and passing through that, passing near to India Gate by notification kind of thing, then that would be an example for this. How to, next question is from Ramesh Rajamani. How to set longitude or latitude for an employee? Since it is movable, if it is non-movable, then we can set the lat or long right. No. Ramesh, the thing is that there would be some certain time interval, like when was the first detected. In the morning, for example, you can say that after some certain time interval, when that employee moves out of that premises and then again when he enters in the morning, then in this way it can be monitored. Your question was how to set lat and long for an employee. You cannot set the lat and long for an employee. You can set the lat and long of his mobile application, or you can get the latitude longitude by mobile application, by Android application, as we are getting it here. Next is from Shiv Kumar Balasubramaniam. How to calculate the distance in kilometer with 2 points? Shiv Kumar, you can check, there is a method in the location class for calculating the distance between two lat long. There you can there you would need to pass the start longitude and ending latitude and ending longitude. That would return you the distance. Next question is from Megsyam. Can location-based service app can be used in every location? Megsyam, location-based services can be used in every location with the condition that on that condition there should be proper GPS signal or proper network provider, one of them. Next question is from Vipul Gaur. He has written here, thanks Anup for a lovely insight. We are developing an Android app for which LBS was a key requirement. Okay. Next is from the Hemant Kumar Panchal. Which is the best book or PDF I should use to learn Android in details? Hemant, I would suggest you for searching for unblocking Android and to see the documentation provided by the Google or Android at the developer.android. That is very helpful. Next is from Priyanka Prothi. How Android is better than Microsoft web apps? Priyanka, web apps remains by the time you are using the app only. Okay. By the time you are using the web app, it remains at that time only. But Android apps can remain in your mobile every time. And beside that, for web app, every time you would need to call the server and you cannot store the data offline. But in Android app, you can do this. Also, the location finding and showing it on the map is more fast in Android app compared to web apps. Next is from the Karthik Vanapalli. What may be the possible reason of to fail in getting lat and log even if the GPS is turned on? Karthik, sometimes happen that even if your GPS is turned on, but satellite signals are weak, like you are in elevator or you are in tunnel somewhere, or even if your office is not having proper satellite signals connectivity, in that case, you cannot get lat and log properly, even if your GPS is turned on. Vaibhav Deshpande. Can phone gap be used for this application? Vaibhav, it depends upon you that in which circumstances or by which criteria you want to use the GPS things. It can be used anywhere with the certain logic. That means it can be used like in shopping based apps, phone gap, and as many other examples as I told you earlier also. Next question is from Ravi Adhikari. How can we get current location address information using the lat long and longitude and vice versa? Ravi, there is a geocode API, geocoder class from the Google Android. For getting the current location lat long, we have shown you the example app. Reverse is also possible by calling the geocoder API, geocoder class, and then passing that location's address. As I told you, as I described earlier also, that if I'm sitting here in New Delhi and I want to get the latitude longitude of Marine Drive, Mumbai, so you would need to use the geocoder class to get this thing solved. Next question is from Suresh K. How do I optimize battery while calling LBS using the GPS provider? Suresh, you can save the battery by calling the GPS provider in this way. Like when you are trying to get the GPS location, once you get the current lat and long, you would need to call the location manager dot remove location updates. This way you can unregister yourself from the location updates. By this way you can save the mobile battery, or alternatively you can use the network provider also if you don't want the exact location. Next question is from Suresh K. If I want to get location detail using GPS provider, in such case, should I need to use internal connection or any SIM? Without SIM, is GPS works? Yes. Yes, Suresh, you can get the locations latitude and longitude using the GPS provider on Wi-Fi also. So you would not need for internet connection, but you would need Wi-Fi connection. That means without SIM, GPS is possible. Next question is from Jumana Abdul Majid. Are there any challenges in making these applications with location-based services in India? Like for example, GPS availability as compared to countries like US. Jumana, earlier there was some issues in India for getting the lat long, for checking the GPS availability. Now Google has made it available everywhere to get the GPS signals or to get the satellite signals or from the GPS locations from the network provider. So it's not currently an issue in India. Next question is from Rajendra Vyas. Is there any free web services for LBS based on categories? Rajendra, you would need to search it on Google that what things are available, but certainly there are some things like traffic info and other things like yellow pages are available for LBS based. Next question is from Vanitha. Any appropriate way of finding distance between two lat long values? Vanitha, there is a method for calculating distance in the location class. There you would need to pass the start lat long and the ending lat long, and then it would return you the distance between those lat longs, those points. As iPhone compared to Cocoa Touch, is Android is going to develop any that kind of approach? Android is already providing location-based services, and I believe that Google is master in location-based services and GPS-based services and all things. Next question is from Chaitanya Kona. Is it possible to retrieve location information and invoke some activity on clicking a bubble in the map in Android? Chaitanya, I would suggest you to do these things in two different threads. Once you get the location, at the time of this you can show the loading. After getting the location, you can pass that location into your intent, and then you can start your different activity. You can check this thing in our Magic Bricks Android application, that while you are going onto the map, you will see the pin points there, and upon clicking the pin points, you would see the bubble dialog. Upon clicking on the bubble, you would be moving to different activity or on property details activity. Next question is from Priyanka Prathe. Is LBS affected by network traffic? If yes, how can we able to avoid it? Priyanka, we have not seen yet the issue of network traffic on Android applications, because certainly you are using less applications at a time. But if you're using many more applications which are network based applications, then it can affect. That LBS can be affected by the network traffic in that case. So I would suggest you to use the lesser number of applications, because anyhow your application would need to go to either to satellite or to network provider to get the network. Next question is from Ramesh Rajamani. How to get the live state map view? Ramesh, street view is provided by the Google, but live street view, that you would need to check it on the Google, because then it depends upon the availability from the Google. If it is available, then you can show it, or else you cannot. Okay, it's all from my side. Thank you everybody for attending the webinar. Have a good day.